The year 2024 was always going to be an interesting one for cricket fans because, of course, you were having the T20 World Cup take place in the middle of the year. Now, it's a pretty interesting T20 World Cup for a variety of reasons. One, it comes 2 years after the heartbreak which India suffered in 2022. In fact, less than 2 years, you could say. But also, it's going to be a World Cup hosted in the West Indies and the United States of America. That's correct. USA and West Indies are co-hosting the World Cup. And therefore, it's being seen in many ways as a good way to potentially help the game grow, especially when you consider the fact that come the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, you are going to be having T20 cricket. But all of that is future talk. For now, let's focus on the big breaking news that was revealed just a little while back, that being, of course, the schedule of the T20 World Cup. So now you know when exactly what match is going to be played. And whilst we're not going to be delving into the whole schedule here on this particular video, we will be giving you some of the more salient, interesting details, including, of course, how the tournament's format will work, what the groups look like, when the first match, last match is, how the knockouts are going to be played, what are the dates, and of course, the one thing you really want to know, when exactly is that India-Pakistan match. We'll get to all that in just a bit. But first, let's talk about, because we're Indian fans and we want to know what's going on with the Indian cricket scene, let's talk about what India's fixtures are in this particular edition of the T20 World Cup. Now, they are going to be in a group alongside Ireland, Pakistan, USA and Canada, and that is the order in which you'll be playing these teams. Come June 5th, which is about 4 days after the World Cup starts, because that begins on June 1st with a game between the USA and Canada. June 5th, India play Ireland in the city of New York, and then they stay in New York for their next two games as well. June 9th, it'll be the big marquee clash against Pakistan. June 12th, they'll be taking on the hosts in USA, and then the group stage comes to an end on June 15th for India when they take on Canada. Now, if you go over the groups, and we will be doing that in just a bit, you'll see that most of these groups, because of course it's a very expanded tournament, you've got five groups, 5 teams in every group, and that's 4 groups, so you've got 20 teams. So naturally, obviously, there's a little bit of a disparity when it comes to the strength of some of these teams. So a lot of these groups do have 2 strong teams, and the rest 3 there kind of, maybe there you can say, rather unfairly to make up the numbers. But if you want the sport to grow, you need more nations playing the World Cup, is always what I say. Anyway, these are India's fixtures, and now let's move on to what exactly it is that the entirety of the tournament will look like. So the group stage is going to be running from 1st June to 18th June. That's when the group stages will be going on. And the Super 8s, yes, we're going to be seeing a Super 6, Super 8 kind of format come back to the World Cup after a pretty long time. Goes on from 19th to 24th of June. So it's going to be condensed, it's going to be quick. And thereafter, you've got the semi-finals. You've got it on 26th June, 27th June is going to be semi-final 1 and 2 taking place in Guyana and Trinidad, with the final taking place 2 days later, 29th June, in this place of Barbados. So the city of Barbados is going to be the host city for the final of the World Cup. That's a broad overview really of how things will start. In case you're wondering what match kicks off the group stage, well, it's going to be the big match between USA and Canada. Now, that's of course me being a little sarcastic, but given the fact that it is taking place in America, it just makes sense that you will be starting off with the hosts. Next thing, as I said, we went over how it is that the semi-finals and finals are already. You've got semi-final 1 taking place in Guyana, semi-final 2 in Trinidad, and of course the final taking place in Barbados. But let's quickly go over how it is the groups look, because again, this is really how or what matters most. Because if you've got 4 groups of 5 teams each, then all of these groups will need to be, 2 teams will qualify for the Super 8s. Group A, that's India's group. You have India, Pakistan, Ireland, Canada, and USA. Potentially, you're seeing India, Pakistan qualify out of this group, because again, Ireland may be able to cause an upset. Canada, USA, probably not so much. Group B, another very powerful group. You've got England, Australia, Namibia, Scotland and Oman. So again, England, Australia, rank favorites to be making it out of this group, unless one of Namibia, Scotland or Oman ends up springing an absolute giant upset. But that's Group A. Group B. Group C, similar in many ways. You've got New Zealand, West Indies, Afghanistan, Uganda and Papua New Guinea. Now again, Group C is an interesting group because again, potentially New Zealand, West Indies, you'd say are the stronger teams, right? But you've also got an Afghanistan there who in the right conditions can be a threat. You saw how good they were in the ODI World Cup this year. They almost made a run to the semis and were pretty much denied that courtesy of a freak knock by Glenn Maxwell. If they're going to be playing in the USA and West Indies in particular, where tracks, especially in the Windies, do tend to sometimes be a little slower, Afghanistan could potentially be one of those teams that makes it out of the Super 8, upsetting either New Zealand or host West Indies. Uganda, first time ever they're playing a Cricket World Cup of any sort, so big on them. Same with Papua New Guinea. So again, they are definitely the bunny sides of these groups, but good to see that new African nations are taking up the sport as well. Then you've got Group D, which is aptly named because it is the group of death. South Africa, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Netherlands, Nepal. Realistically, you can only say that South Africa are favorites here to make it out of the group. Beyond South Africa, you can actually make a very good case for Sri Lanka making it out of the groups, for Bangladesh making it out of the group. Even a Netherlands, by the way, lest we forget, it's the same Netherlands who in the T20 World Cup of 22 denied South Africa a spot in the semi-finals. Yes, they denied them that spot which seemed all but certainly theirs. Netherlands can cause an upset. I won't write off Nepal either. Yes, they're an associate nation here, not quite at that level just yet, but in T20 cricket, the margins are much finer. May win a game here or there. So Group D, definitely the group of death as far as this T20 World Cup. I'm excited about this, but of course, T20 World Cup, what's not to be excited? So that's it. That is it from us on this video. You know everything it is that you need to know, the major things about the T20 World Cup, the schedule, how the groups look, what the teams will be like. In case you're wondering how does the Super 8 will go, well, the Super 8 is going to be two groups, so it's going to be two groups of 4 teams each, and from there on you get the winners make it to the semi-finals. The winners of the semis, of course, play the final, and that's it for the tournament. Pretty interesting schedule, very big really, and truth be told, I personally like it. I like that you have a tournament where there's so many nations involved, and yes, obviously all of them are not going to be competitive. That's fine. You still like to see newer nations take up the sport, and if T20 can be used to grow the sports profile in the world, then so be it. That's only a good thing. That, however, is just my thought. What do you guys think? You can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app, and if you're already on the channel, then go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now though, from my side, it's goodbye.